Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are here because a new physical media boutique has announced its presence with authority. It is hammer time, baby. We are talking about none other than the legendary Hammer Films. We are going to dive into their first release of this massive 4K box set of Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right, so Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. Of course, I had to wear my own design Hammer t-shirt for today. Kind of Marilyn Munster and Hammer mashup because I'm a geek. But this is definitely something to geek out over right here. I am blown away, you guys. I had never seen this movie. This was a blind buy for me. I'm expanding my horror knowledge when it comes to Hammer films. I was always a classic Universal guy. My dad watched, of course, all the Christopher Lee, Dracula, Hammer stuff like that. But in a lot of cases, it's been years since I've seen it. I've been getting more and more back into it. Of course, my buddy Daniel over at the Cobwebs channel, he's like the authority on this, in my opinion. But this set right here, I was blown away. It's about $60 or so. You can still get a few of these. There's still a few of these out there on like Orbit DVD, Diabolic, stuff like that. This set is incredible. This kind of marks Hammer Films, the actual filmmaking company, their foray into a boutique label that puts out 4K films, does their own 4K restorations and stuff. And this 4K, I mean, you talk about announcing your presence with authority. When you want to come out with a new release and you want to say to the physical media world, we are a player, you should buy our stuff, you should get from day one the films, this is how you do it right here. So we're going to dive into the release and we're going to talk about the film too, because the 4K, I'm just going to go ahead and let it cat out of the bag. The 4K is incredible. The restoration work, they give you all the details. It is incredible. Let's jump into kind of unboxing this. Some of you may have seen this, but you know, I haven't really seen a ton of this on YouTube. I know Daniel covered it. I think my man Jordan over at the Movie Den, I think he talked about this as well. But let's take a look at it. This, if you kind of see, this is almost like a leather of consistency, like a faux leather consistency. This is spot glossed and sort of embossed on the cover. And that all looks cool, super cool. But I'm going to tell you, the art just kind of goes up from there. Of course, you see the spine here. That's flat. You slide this bad boy out. So there is your chunky box. And I do want to show you something. So I just got Deep Blue Sea in finally, and I can do a review of that if you guys want. But so this is an Arrow chunky box. When you want to talk about a chunky box, that is the comparison. That's how thick this chunky box set is. Slide that back over there. So the artwork on this is incredible. Like when I'm not filming, talking about it, you're probably gonna be able to see it in my background because I love how it looks. I mean, that artwork is amazing, but you turn it, of course, there's the side, and then you have other cool artwork on the other side. I mean, the amount of artwork that is done here, this looks very classic. This almost looks a little sci-fi, just slightly here. This captures the movie. Amazing. This is so cool. And then you slide this bad boy out and you're going to have even more artwork. Now, this is a digipack because, and you have one of my discs is over there in the player right now because I've watched this a few times. Look at all of these cuts of the film and extras and stuff you're going to get. There's 4 cuts of the film in 4K. You have the widescreen 166 theatrical version from the UK, and that's in 4K. You have the full screen as filmed version in 4K. Then in the U.S. you have a U.S. theatrical version in the 185 aspect ratio here in 4K. And then, well, I guess there's 3 cuts of it in 4K. And then you have those same cuts again in Blu-ray. Then you have a additional disc that is extra features. It has a full documentary, interviews, all kinds of stuff. And then on each 4K disc, you also have extras on the 4K disc. Like the theatrical for the US here has a 2020 commentary with a film historian. It has a commentary featuring Brian Clemens, Carolyn Monroe, and Jonathan Southcott. Carolyn Monroe is one of the main stars of the film. And then it has Kronos Returns. There's a 2008 reunion for everybody who is still around. You have multiple interviews with multiple different people involved with the film, including Horst Jansen, who plays Captain Kronos. And you have Anything Goes, Hammer Horror in the 70s. That's another featurette here. Stills Gallery, trailers, so much extra stuff on here. And of course, I like how they do it. It does have a card in here, but then it kind of tells you behind each disc what's in there. So that is super cool. You're going to get individual different disc art on each one. I mean, this is a premium set. There's your different disc art here. And, of course, this has the extra disc has the documentary. It has the extra documentary, and it has the other interviews on it. And then you fold this out, and it's a full art scene. I mean, the time and quality that went into this is impressive. Most impressive. And I just totally digged it. I was like, the movie we're going to talk about in just a second, you got a whole big booklet here of info. It's got articles. It's got pictures. It's got info. It is absolutely loaded with stuff. And I love that kind of thing. I've gotten more and more into being interested in seeing the booklets because I like to just learn stuff. And then you have, I'm not going to show them all, but you have a poster. You have a full-size poster here that is double-sided. So that's cool. Captain Kronos. I confess, I did not know anything about this movie going in, but I like the fact that Hammer is doing their restorations and getting stuff. Look, you have a full comic book in here, a fully illustrated comic book that's around 90 pages or so. That is super cool. I haven't even had a chance to look at that yet. And then, of course, you have art cards here. I'm not going to take all those out, but there are a lot of very cool art cards. Original lobby cards. So that is what the set looks like. Now, this thing is just impressive as hell to me. So this movie is called Captain Kronos, the Vampire Hunter. It's from 1974, and it's basically a swashbuckling vampire hunter. So it's Captain Kronos is a master swordsman and a former soldier, and he has a hunchback assistant who kind of helps take care of things for him, keep him in line, and they hunt vampires. That's what they do, and they get into this small village where there's a rash of young, beautiful women who are turning up with advanced aging. Like, so they were young and beautiful, and then now they are super old, on death's door, damn near mummified. They're so old, and it's up to Captain Kronos to find out what's going on and stop the vampires. Horst Jansen, as I said, he plays Captain Kronos. You have Carol Monroe, who is the lovely Carla. And you have, I think it's Wanda Vetham. But she plays the lady in here, Lady Durward. I should have wrote that down. But anyway, she is a big part of the movie, and she's a big part of the extras. But the problem here is this is kind of a different vampire take. This movie didn't necessarily take off. It's got kind of a suave edge to it. I was talking to my friends Brian and Jason about it, and I was like, look, I think the best way I would describe this thing is 2 parts Robin Hood, 1 part Jack Sparrow and Pirates of the Caribbean edge with Captain Kronos himself, and 1 part, standard sort of Hammer Dracula story with a dash of Blade thrown in to the mix for good measure. That's how I would kind of describe this thing. Take that for what you will. But it all kind of works. Now, that didn't seem to translate in 1974 when the movie came out, because they originally had planned this as a first in a series of films, but a kind of underwhelming reviews and underwhelming box office kind of put the kibosh on that. So this is a very different style Hammer movie here. It has a lot of action, a lot of sword fights, a lot of sword play. And the main actress who I was talking about, who plays Lady Durwood, well, I guess you could say that Carolyn Monroe is really the main actress, but it's one of the main characters in the movie, played by Wanda Vetham. I think forgive me if I say her name wrong. She is in some of the extra features that I was watching, doing an interview, and she's talking about that action in it and how she discovered that Quentin Tarantino was a fan of this movie. And just like Tarantino is prone to do, he borrowed from it. And there is a very sort of iconic moment in this where Captain Kronos holds his sword up in front of him and like he's ready to strike. And you see the reflection of Lady Durward's eyes tight in the sword. And it is basically the exact shot, the exact sequence that is done in Kill Bill, where you get that same shot. So the fact that apparently Tarantino had mentioned this, and then you have that shot, I mean, of course, there's nothing new under the sun, but Tarantino, he picks and chooses from things that he likes and incorporates them, as good filmmakers should do. So you kind of definitely see some of that inspired in there. And there's moments that this movie kind of sets apart where I almost want to say, now it doesn't have like a contemporary soundtrack, but it kind of has a little contemporary feel every now and then, a la A Knight's Tale, where the way the main characters will act or talk. Now, it doesn't have like a contemporary soundtrack, like I said, but the way they'll act or talk, like the little winks, the little suave way that Captain Kronos has about himself feels very contemporary. Little winks, little nods at everything, like, I know I'm a badass, and the audience knows I'm a badass, and I'm going to wink at you, and they're all going to know that we're all in on the fact that I'm a badass. That's what you get from Captain Kronos. Now, I like that very much. I like that sort of action. And if you're a Robin Hood fan, this movie's a must. Like, especially if you're a Robin Hood fan who likes horror films, this is 100% a must own. Because it has all of he might as well have that joie de vivre of, or however you want to call it, of Robin Hood, because he just has that arrogance, that air about him as he's going on to hunt these vampires. And I'm not going to give it all away, but obviously it's a very different kind of take on a vampire, because it's not just blood. necessarily. It is life force being sucked out. And I kind of tied that back immediately to the movie Life Force. And Tobe Hooper felt like he was kind of nodding to Hammer films with Life Force, the way Matilda May, as sort of a space vampire, a different take on vampire, lived on not only the blood, not the blood from people, but their actual life force. And that is what it feels like the vampire in here does in a way, because he's pulling out their youth and beauty and he's leaving them old. That is the immediate thing that came to my mind with that, was life force. So I really enjoyed the movie. I actually have watched it twice, and it's played in the background over here because the 4K is awesome on this movie. Now they have all the information of the restoration on here, and it is pretty extensive. I love when boutiques kind of give you the restoration information. Now, I'm going to try to put up all the information here, but like I said, it's 5 disc. It's got the digipack. There's the 3 iterations on 4K. It has a brand new Dolby Atmos mix. It has a 5.1 mix. It has the original mono soundtrack. It's in English, French, Italian, Spanish, German, and has even Japanese subtitles. I mean, it is absolutely insane. I think the one book is around 100 pages. The other one's 136. You got 8 art cards. You got the double-sided poster. But they talk about how the restoration was done. I really wish that everybody would start doing that and really giving us the information on how the restoration was done, who did it. They give you all that information, and the work shows in here. There are moments, like when it's outside, it is obviously beautiful because they have plenty of light and all that kind of stuff. But there are hard moments in this for like a 4K to handle, for restoration to handle, with darks and lights meeting together. And it does it flawlessly. And there is some very cool cinematography work in this movie. Now, what I'm talking about on that is there's a lot of stuff that is in the foreground that is in focus as things come from the background and enter focus, and it switches focus as that happens. And you get this sharpness. It doesn't breathe. You don't get the artifacting in the 4K in the film as it goes from one focus to the other. And it happens a lot. That's a creative choice, 100%, on how they filmed it. You get those cool moments where old school, like Errol Flynn, Robin Hood style, where there's sword fights that go on for a long time. So again, you get the Robin Hood, you get the Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean vibes there. Even Blade fought with a sword. But you get the cool vibes where they'll show the shadows as they're fighting, the silhouetted shadows on the wall. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. That is old school, baby. And I love it. And because the 4K is so good, those shadows are crisp. They pop. The grain is beautiful. If you're worried about that, yes, there's grain in it because it is a film. It is a piece of cinema. It was shot in 1974. It's a Hammer film. It looks like you're watching a piece of cinema, and I dig it. The colors leap off this thing. And a lot of times stuff that is in the foreground, like I was talking about, when it's in sharp focus in the foreground, and then the background stuff is coming, that stuff in the foreground that is so colorful, like sometimes it's flowers, maybe it's a church bell ringing or whatever, the colors leap off into your face. And then the other colors, as it comes in and the focus switches, y'all, you don't realize how hard that is, the timing of the focus. Back in the day, they were probably measuring focus with a ruler or measuring tape. So they had to kind of guess that pull and land it right on that focus, man, especially when it's stuff that is in way far distance where they couldn't just measure it. That is beautiful filmmaking. It is beautiful filmmaking and way harder than you realize. To focus on shadows on a wall without the benefit of a monitor right there to watch and everything and pull your focus correctly, That's hard. And then for it to look so good when the 4K is, so they did a full restoration, a full transfer, color grade, all that kind of stuff. They fixed the film, as I said, 4K restoration and a 4K scan. Those are different things. Restoration involves like actually fixing the film. In some cases, a film might be warped. They might have to straighten it, which is thousands of dollars and man hours to boot to do that. And then they fix all the things. They alicing. It's an artifacting, a haloing, a blurring type effect. You can fix that. You can fix burns. You can fix chroma leaks. You can fix light leaks. You can fix scratches, dust, all that kind of stuff. You can fix that beforehand, scan it through. They actually tell you the scanner that they used, and I'm sorry I can't remember it right off the top of my head. They tell you the one that they used to scan it in, because they're not all created equal. They used it to scan it in, and then you continue the restoration work with new color, with more digital fixing and all that. Man, all that work shows. It's incredible. It just absolutely pops. And I love the outside scenes. I love the sword fighting, but there's a lot of stuff in and out of shadows, darkness, interiors, and it all looks immaculate. I'm going to tell you, I was so blown away by this that I am blind buying their next one that is up for pre-order right now. You can get it on, I think you can get it directly from them, but you can get it from Orbit as well. Then you don't have to worry about importing it or anything else. They have their next set up. Now, it's a little bit less because I think it's only a 2 or 3 disc set. So it is $48.99, where this one's like $60 or $64 on Orbit. But you don't have to import it or anything. But the next one is Four-Sided Triangle. It's a 4K Ultra HD Limited Collector's Edition. And that one is about 2 scientists who create the ability to duplicate people, basically to clone people, because it's like from 1954, so it's like a sci-fi kind of horror movie. They create the ability to duplicate people, to clone them. One of the scientists is in love with this woman who is in love with his partner, and so they convince her to let him duplicate her so that he has one of her for himself. The problem is the duplication works so good that it duplicates her completely, right down to thoughts, feelings, and everything else. And now the duplicate is also in love with the other guy because she's the exact same, thoughts and all, feelings and all, and it creates a 4-sided thing. So it's a 4-sided triangle. Now, there was actually a spin of that done on, what is it? Tales from the Crypt. There was a spin of 4-sided triangle done on Tales of the Crypt. However, in Tales of the Crypt, they change way off of that. It involves a scarecrow. Patricia Arquette's in it, and it's not Toby Hooper who directed it, but it's my goodness, I can't remember who it is. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. Who directed that segment? If you're kind of, now that's not going to give you a great idea of who of what that movie is about, because it is so different. I'm seeing if I can pull it up. I actually just sent it to Daniel because he had not heard about this one coming either. So Patricia Arquette, Tom Holland is the director of that Tales from the Crypt segment on the 4-sided triangle, season 2, episode 9, if you want to find that and check it out. But because of all that, and because of how amazing this is, I blind bought it. Now, I'm working on a list of 1950, my favorite 1950 sci-fi and sci-fi horror films for you guys, a list of recommendations, deep diving. I've been watching for a while. I'm going to hold off on that list until I get that movie in my hand to see if it fits on that list. And of course, I'll do a review. But listen, I can't recommend this enough. Absolutely incredible. I had to get this review out. I know, like I said, Daniel had talked about it, and I think Jordan did as well. But I wanted to give you my take. You know, I'm always going to bring not only a fan perspective, but a filmmaker's perspective. So I look at things a little bit different. And that's a great thing about all of us different people here on YouTube. You can get a little bit different perspectives from different things. Like Daniel is well more versed in Hammer overall than I am. But a lot of you like me might blind buy this. So you're going to get that perspective from me, and then you're going to get my perspective on the filmmaking and the restoration aspect as somebody who's done both of those things. So I really, really recommend this. I think this is how you announce your presence with authority right here in the physical media boutique world. This thing is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Hammer, you knocked it out of the ballpark. It is absolutely Hammer time. Keep bringing them. Keep putting these out, and you have a fan in me, and I think you'll have a fan in many collectors out there. Give them a chance. I don't think there's tons of these left, so if you want to get this big edition, you better grab it now. No, they don't send it to me or anything else. I bought it just like you'll have to buy it, and I blind bought the next one. I'm excited to get it, and I really enjoyed it. High recommend, you guys. And that's what I got for you on this. I got lots of reviews coming up. They kind of piled up on me. I have Vinegar Syndrome Joy of Sex review coming. I have The Carpenter from Vinegar Syndrome review coming. I have Forbidden World from Scream Factory Shout Studios review coming. I have Night of the Creeps review coming. I have Deep Blue Sea. If you guys want to see that one, let me know. I can do the Constantine review. I got a lot of reviews, and of course, you guys know we do everything here, so I got physical media news, and I got a bunch of awesome list recommendations coming up for you. One this weekend, one next week. I love recommended movies, so you guys get into that. I'm going to have a live stream tomorrow, Friday, March the 14th. You should see this in the afternoon on March the 13th. And that's what I got for you this time. You guys know we do it all from a fan filmmaker's perspective, and I absolutely love it. But until next time, hey, I want to say before I jump out of here and tell you to rewind, thank you all so much for your support on this channel. It really does mean a lot. I know I always ask to like and subscribe because that helps. It just does. I hate having to say it, but it does help. And I really appreciate it. If you want to help support more, like always, you can join my Patreon or my YouTube. The links are below. You can use the Amazon links to buy anything. That helps out the channel. I am still selling these shirts old school style. You have to email me at avawithchase for any of my shirt designs until I can get it up, avawithchase@gmail.com. So much going on. If you've bought or won anything from me recently, those packages have gone out in the mail, so they should be on their way. It's just me, and I don't have a big staff, so bear with me. Lots of big things coming, and hang out and enjoy the ride with me. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.